talent has always been one of the most important elements for any company. But what we've seen recently, and I mean over the last few years, is there's two big changes that I've personally experienced. One is the kind of roles you create to grow the business, and two is the kind of roles you create to leverage and grow the people. Let me start with the business part. Over the last few years, you've seen a tremendous change in the kind of roles that you see within companies, mostly driven because of data, technology, and the digital world. But on top of that, you also see a trend of moving more roles in-house that used to be externally, for example, with agencies. So in our case, we see more and more creative people, like designers. We also see more and more people that have media expertise, like folks that do programmatic media. And on the other hand, you also see us moving roles out and move them to external partners and outsource those that are typically roles that are no longer primary and mostly relevant for our business. So you see a shift of outsourcing and insourcing. Then I see another trend, which is very important as these roles are changing, moving from out to in and from in to out. You also see that what people are expecting. So what we've done over decades, actually, because it's a part of our management philosophy, is not only trying to define a role and force somebody into the role, but look at the individual, the capabilities they have, what their comparative advantage is, and create a role for that individual, which translates into very different roles. So for example, a brand manager on one brand could be significantly different than the role the brand manager on another brand has, because the individual is different and their strengths and their opportunities are different. But it goes a step further. We also don't define people by their capability or their function. So if you're a marketer, doesn't mean that you have to be a marketer for a long time or need to jump through hoops to move from one department to another department. So we have people coming from marketing into communications, from sales into marketing, from marketing into the P&L roles. And basically what we see there is that we look at the individual, the personal strengths and opportunities, their comparative advantage, and create a role around those. But it can even go further. And that's something that we experimented with the last few years, is that sometimes you believe that somebody will be great at a role, but you're not sure. And what we've done is just give these people a chance to go and try this role out and keep their current role actually open for a while to see if it works out. And if it doesn't work out, we still know that the person was good in the last role and you just take them back. It was also almost that you send people to another department with some like return guarantee that you can give them. And that has enabled us to put people in roles that they initially thought they would be uncomfortable with or maybe a challenge. But they tried it out for 2 months, 3 months, sometimes 6 months. We left the old role open, and then what we see is that people flourish tremendously beyond what they believed they could do initially.
Great, and I want to just ask a question on a completely different topic around media investment, your expectations around TV investment, how things are changing, opportunities to reach audiences more directly, and performances that you're expecting out of your TV investment.
Yes, reaching consumers in a way that is relevant to them at the right time, at the right place, with the right content, targeted at the right consumers, has always been important. And nowadays, with all the data and technology, the opportunities have become more and more precise, and the opportunities have become larger. But I believe there's going to be two very distinctive approaches to consumer. On the one hand, you will still have the mass media approach, things like online video, TV, social media, where you're trying to drive awareness in a very effective and an efficient way for large consumer groups. Then you flip it on the other hand, you have very data and technology driven opportunities to target specific groups and find these groups with a very specific message at a specific time and place to trigger sales more directly. So I'll see a world where you have this mix of mass media and micro-targeted, almost personalized media, all happening at the same time to drive your brands forward.